Okay, so we're probably confusing our
Stewie's
video
version.
person because I put game 3. This game I remember because it was so silly. Now, this guy is a national treasure, David Moody.
Yeah.
He was the editor of Michigan Chess for 1 billion years. He's very witty. He was a librarian in real life. He had the world's thickest glasses. Nobody had thicker glasses than Dave Moody. If he took his glasses off, he couldn't see anything. And I put his glasses on once when I was a kid, and I was like, it was like weird because they were like this. It was strange. He was legally blind, so he couldn't drive. Even though he could drive if he had glasses, but he wasn't allowed to. And he would bring bottles and cans and bottles and cans of Dr. Pepper to a tournament. And he would drink more Dr. Pepper in one day than you've had in your life.
Yeah.
Easily.
I remember you talking about this.
Yeah.
Guy.
And here's what he did, because we're speaking of armed people. Dave Moody was right-handed. He put the clock on his left, if he was white or black. He would make the move. He'd write the move down while he's making it and hit the clock. So he had all his arms were working when he was playing. And he gave funny names to openings. So like the Hamlet Gambit, it's the French defense where white plays bishop e3 on move 3. To be e3 or not to be e3, that is the question. So then if it was a 4-knight opening, he would put 4 knights, the names of 4 different knights on the score sheet. That was the 4 knights. You know, like a King Arthur knight and stuff like that. And then, so he named every opening. Then there was a guy named Don Eiffel. Not Don Eiffel. Don Eiffel's the guy who, like, died, right? There was a guy named Eiffel, Eiffel, in Michigan. He was like 1400. He always put all his pawns on the 3rd rank to start every game. So Moody called it the Eiffel Tower. Anyway, he died a few years ago. He was in a nursing home, and like some guy in a wheelchair, like he like hit him or knocked him over, and he fell over, and he died of his injuries.
Just from falling over?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he got hit by like a motorized wheelchair or something.
Oh, he got
Mark
hit.
knows better than I do. Yeah. And he was
I got
probably in his
confused.
early 70s.
I thought you were saying he was in the wheelchair.
No, he was standing, and then he got knocked over.
Oh, by the wheelchair.
Yeah.
Man. But listen, I've worried before, like, at the casinos, people are zipping around on those scooters.
You know who used to do that a lot that you've heard of, who's super famous? Who used to zip around and hit people? Yeah, all the time. Doyle.
Oh, yeah. I've heard
Doyle
people,
was famous for hitting, get out of
I've
my
heard
way.
people
Rawr.
talking about that.
Out me way. Me want snoo snoo. Yeah.
Texas Dolly.
Yeah, Dolly would run you over.
But, I mean, sometimes people drive those scooters crazy.
Doyle Brunson won a $250,000 lawsuit like 70 years ago against the musical Hello Dolly. Or maybe not. Okay, here's my game.
That's what I'm saying. The scooters are fast and heavy.
Okay, for $1 trillion in this position, which you've seen before, I played a slightly unusual move here. What's that called? C3 in this position. This opening has a name. I'll give you a hint. The name of the opening has a Z in it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Also, don't look at the chat because then you'll know.
I don't know.
Panziani.
Oh,
Have you heard of it?
not really.
Okay, he played the most aggressive move, which is F5, because that's how Dave Moody played. So this was 83, so I was like 2200, and he's always like 1900. I took knight d4. Yeah, now he made a mistake. He took. What move did I play? Go Eric Rosen? Oh, because the Panziani, or is Eric Rosen here? Must be because he must play the Panziani or something, or F5. Rosen likes the Panziani. Yeah, Bernie Madoff's daughter was Annie, so they called her Ponzi Annie.
I mean, don't know. I was trying to see what happens if you move Queen H5.
That's what I did.
But
The engine says he should play King E7,
King. Okay.
but he played here.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
I took. Now he played the second best move. The best move is Bishop here. It says I'm up about 2.5. Played here. Okay, what did I play? White has one move that wins, and otherwise White's losing. This game was played so long ago that the name of the city we played in changed its name. It used to be called East Detroit. Now, when I say East Detroit, I don't mean the east side of Detroit. I mean the city was called East Detroit, and they changed their name to East Point. But when this game was played, it was East Detroit.
I was just trying to see what happens if you go G7.
That's correct.
But I was just
Right.
looking at what they do.
Then he takes.
Right.
And then I queen. Then he plays knight C2 check. And then we stopped the game because it was too exciting. Knight F6. If he plays knight takes rook, I have a move that's +4. Otherwise, I'm only plus 1.2. What's my +4 move?
I guess Queen E5.
Right. Check, and that wins the knight with check. And then this knight's trapped.
Yeah. But,
So he played knight F6. I took. So I'm up a rook. Played D5. D3. Okay, the engine says, well, it doesn't say it anymore. It says his next move is the best, but it changed its mind. I want you to guess Black's move. I'll give you 4 guesses. If you get it, you get $1 trillion. What did Black play here?
oh, so it's not an obvious move?
No, and in fact, it was the first move the engine suggested. Then it changed its mind.
Oh.
So the engine thought it was obvious.
Well, I'm not going to say the move I thought it was.
What's that?
Well, E takes D3.
Nope.
All right, well, that's one of my choices. You tricked me.
No, we won't count that. That's okay.
We can count it. All right, but so because you already gave a bunch of hints, so we'll waste one.
Yeah, the song where he says born and raised in South Detroit. There's no part of Detroit anybody calls South Detroit. There is Southwest Detroit. There's the West Side, Southwest. There's the Boulevard, Grand Boulevard area, downtown. There's no South Detroit. As somebody pointed out, that would be Windsor, Canada.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Bishop G4.
Close. Ready?
Oh.
Now, the engine says I should play bishop here or bishop here, and I'm +5. But I played rook D1. Defense. Boy, it likes rook D1 now. I wonder if it'll change its mind. It did. Now my move is the best. It decided my move was best when I showed it. That's good. Then he did something you won't expect. He resigned. Although he is completely lost. But I was still surprised he resigned.
Well, that's pretty good then.
When we played in the 82 U.S. Open, which my family drove to with a friend of ours, so me, my brother, my mom, and dad, and this guy you guys never heard of who's a master, the Mall of Americas didn't exist yet. That's how long ago we went to St. Paul. Frankly, unbelievable.
Bonarici says plenty of game left.
Well, it says I'm plus 5.5, so it wasn't totally terrible. He's down a rook, and bishop g5 and bishop h6 are coming, and his bishop's hanging. So, yeah, doesn't really have anything.